Your day just got better, didn't it? Yeah, it did. All right, let's go. Oh, I wanted to add one thing. The reason I had it here, and this is a fun thing about sanitation, or not sanitation, I should say sanitization. I wanted to do my header today. I said, if you listen to celebrities, you are dumb. It wouldn't let me use the word dumb, perhaps because it refers to people use the term dumb also as for a person who's mute. But I could put you are stupid, which is amazing to me. I mean, aren't they going to be PC about stupid people too? So anyway, the reason I put that is because it amazes me how in the last 10 or 15 years especially, constantly we have so-called celebrities that are espousing products, that are giving opinion on not only political but social matters, on everything, and most of them are stupid. So therefore, if you listen to celebrities who, for instance, say invest in this crypto or here's whatever you should do socially, here's the thing: you're dumb. You're an idiot. Okay, because they're idiots. Who's more? Oh, well, let's do some Obi-Wan Kenobi. Who's more foolish, the fool or the fool that follows him? Ah, woof. Anyway, I just wanted to get political there for a minute. That's not really political. That's just common horse sense. Anyway, we're doing some Minecraft today. We're building. One thing I was thinking about a lot, and I need to look it up real quick. Hold on, we're gonna take a look here. Um, how old is Pokimane? I'm just curious. I mean, don't get me wrong, she's pretty. Oh, she's 27 years old. So let's see. In 2016, she would have been 20. She would have been 20. Okay, it's interesting. Okay, I just need to know her age. Something that's been on my mind lately. I was thinking about this. Um, and I'm not getting into whether or not I'm left or right or anything. I'm not saying pro Trump, pro Hillary, whatever the fuck. But I'm just making a point that a lot of celebrities came out for Hillary Clinton, for instance, in 2017 or 2016. Sorry, in that election year. And Pokimane was one of those people. I've known that for a long time. I don't hold it against her. I mean, you believe whatever you want to believe. What I have the problem with is the fact that A, she was 20, B, I believe she's Canadian, and C, what on earth could she possibly know about not only the political process, but the actual platforms of people like Trump and Clinton? Not that they initially had like outstanding platforms or anything. I'm just making the point. This is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. This is a person who's a celebrity who I don't know what level of education she has, but I would imagine she's no kind of political strategist who at age 20 is espousing what? Of course, in modern times, it's often a liberal cause that's espoused. But doesn't it be no different if you got a celebrity who was a conservative and said, "Oh, I'm going to back Trump," but they were 20 years old and an internet personality? It's like even if I took off on Twitch and I got a large following, I would never be endorsing a candidate for politics. I mean, it's just fucking stupid. The funny thing is, I could break down the actual like politics of it if I wanted to. I could say I'm voting for this person because of X, Y, and Z: economic policy, social policy, international policy, and so on and so forth. I would be hard pressed. I'd be curious to go back and find a posting from someone like a Pokimane, someone similar, who was endorsing, say, a Hillary Clinton, or possibly someone who's endorsing a Trump back in the day, who was a internet personality or whatever influencer, who actually has any idea what the fuck they're talking about. That's just one example. Another example is anything to do with NFTs and crypto. Another example is almost anything you can think about. I mean, basically, listen, if celebrities come out and go, hey, there's this and this and this and this, most of them are talking out of their ass. They're jumping on bandwagons of popularity and they have no fucking clue what they're talking about. They're often stupid, not just uninformed, they're stupid. They entertain. But again, they're called influencers. Oh, and like I said, I don't have anything personally against Pokemon. I think she's very attractive, and I don't even have a problem with the whole cookie thing. That's been a big thing lately with Pokemon is like the cookie thing. Who gives a shit? She wants to make expensive fucking cookies, and a bunch of idiots want to buy it. Fuck it, that's their problem. And my job to police their dumbasses with what they do with their money. Which, by the way, why the fuck would you do that? I mean, come on, let's be honest. Who in the hell does that? Why would you buy cookies just because like they're Pokemon's cookies? Why would you do that? How big a fucking simp do you have to be? You know? And I love the fact that people got into semantics about it. Here's a good example. People were saying $28 for a bag of cookies. And then people who are defending it, including Pokemon, they come out and say, well, it's 4 bags of cookies. Okay. And it's like, well, that's still like $7 a bag, which is fucking retarded. So yeah, it's just, that's so dumb. Why would anybody buy this shit? It's just like, and they're fueling it, you know? I mean, even people who do it for a joke are making those people money, you know? I mean, famously, like people like Charlie, like Moist Critical, he'll like buy shit like, oh, here I bought Gwyneth Paltrow's vagina candle, or here I bought Belle Delphine's bathwater, or something, just for like a ha ha, like let's see what this is all about. But even that, I mean, they're mocking the hell out of it, so it's worth the content. But even then, they're giving them the business. It's like it's really sad. These people need to fail because as long as they don't fail, all these people who are pulling this shit, they're gonna keep they're gonna keep like well influencing. Yeah. I mean, quite frankly, I wish celebrities and see, I'm by no means a celebrity, but like I said, even if I became a person who's commenting on things like this, which I have no problem doing, um, the problem I have is what you know, I'm not telling people how to vote. That's the difference. I mean, she was just flat out like, "You need to vote for Hillary, man," because that's like, that's some female Jesus stuff right there. That's like, really, where you getting that from, sister? Like, what does she actually stand for? I bet if you asked her that 7 years ago, she couldn't tell you a fucking thing. She'd give you a bunch of generalities about woman president and whatever the fuck and all this kind of shit. That's another thing that needs to be stopped. Is this mythos of because someone is like you, they're going to be for you? Okay, I want to be clear on this for anyone who ever happens to listen to this. Here's how this works: if you're gay and someone is gay, if you're Latino and someone's Latino, if you're white and someone's white, they are not necessarily looking out for your best interest. They will look after their own interest and whatever their agenda is first. And if it happens to coincide with your interest, okay, that's fine. I think some people do vote like that, but oftentimes, how often have we seen people get voted in and it doesn't make like the whole difference, right? And so many people, I think, especially, you know, you get these new generations now that are coming up, and all they know is their politics come from like fucking tweets and shit. Like they're so uninformed about anything, and they just literally tote like a particular party line. And by the way, that's far left and far right. Um, I'm going to be even on that one. The idiots are equal on both sides. It's really sad how people are digesting information now. The fun thing is that there are actually a lot of sensible people. Like this guy, I was just watching I think third, no, maybe third or fourth video that I'd seen from him. His name's Richard Johnny, I think it is. Is it Richard Johnny? I had him up here somewhere. Damn, I don't have him up anymore. He was really good documentaries, very comprehensive. I was really like, I'm proud to like be watching your stuff, bro. I don't throw out subscribes very much to channels because a lot of times they have a lot of shit on them. But there, every once in a while, I find a channel like with Casual Criminalist where I really like it, and it has something of substance. It has something of value to it, and I'm very happy about that. The other one was God, it was called something J. I have it. I click the sub thing so I can always find it. Not God, I need to. Yeah, but they actually do some really good documentaries too. I'm glad to see there's people who are still creating content. I'd love to create content like that out there. I just do not have the equipage for it. I couldn't do it if I wanted to. I don't have the resources. I don't have, in some cases, the requisite knowledge of some of the camera work and all that kind of stuff. I could learn that, but it's still just, yeah, I just don't have the money to be able to present that kind of thing like that. Um, so it really pisses me off. But I'm glad some people are out there doing it. Besides, the market's crowded to some degree anyway. God, I've got to fill all this shit in. I almost should just fill it in completely, but it's not. We're gonna do that. Okay. Um, so I'm just filling in some things, but I wanted to put that out there. I had to just. It makes me feel better to say that. And if someone does come in to my channel or hears this and they're like, "Well, screw you," because the celebrity says something, and well, you're an idiot, and I don't want you here. It's like even if you're dumb enough to pump money into me, I wouldn't want you here. I'd rather not have your sub. I'm not kidding. I do this because I enjoy it. Don't get me wrong, I'd like to make a living at it if I could get a better computer, do more content, but I also couldn't give a rat's ass if I piss somebody off because if they're that fucking pretentious and stupid, then they can quite frankly just fuck off. So anyway, let's see. We're gonna fill in this bottom area because I feel like I have to finish it off and make it pretty. It's gonna drive me crazy if I don't do that. I'm not gonna worry about the ores that are there. We'll deal with that later. I got to figure out though what fuel is for the damned create mod, because I haven't looked at like a video or anything. I need to like find a video or something, because there's tons of zinc ore everywhere and I'm picking up tons of it. I think we're gonna need a ton of it if we do something with like trains or some shit. All right, where have we not filled in here? We really need to put really need to put lighting down here too. Too. Excuse me, I got hiccupy. Hold on, let me drink some water. Mm. So anyway, but yeah, it's like when you see all these people, like I was just watching this video and it was going over crypto garbage and all these people who were jumping on the crypto bros, but also a lot of celebrities and all this garbage. It's like, who watches that and thinks, oh, here, I need to put my money into that? Yeah, I was watching a thing on Sam Bankman Fried the other day, and they kept having this. To be fair, that just to try to illustrate like the pain, I guess they had this guy on who's like, "I lost all my money in crypto. Why is this like this?" It seemed like some older guy, and I'm like, I had a real problem being sympathetic with him. You can't be that stupid that you took like your life savings and put it into crypto. Who fucking does that? Seriously, man. I have a lot of trouble being Oh crap! No. Oop, there we go. I have a lot of trouble being sympathetic with someone who's that stupid. I mean, you have a basically unknown quantity, and yet you're saying, "Oh wait, what is that? Deep slate? What? How is there deep slate here? The hell is that?" Okay, there we go. That's kind of weird. Oh, makes me think there's something going on down below. But yeah, it's like these people who take their cues, and especially the so-called celebrities, are a lot of times like crap rappers or flavor of the month people. Like you're basically looking at it, you're like, who the fuck is this person? Oh, but it turns out they got a bunch of. It's like if someone like an XQC or a Kai Sanat, both of you are two of the biggest streamers on Twitch. It's like if they came out and endorsed a candidate, I would be like, why? And like I said, the fact that I believe Pokey means a Canadian too. It's like, what do you even know about American politics? No, she just saw, oh yeah, I of course I'm a liberal and I got to vote for a woman, and it's got to be Hillary, and there you go. I mean, don't get me wrong, Trump was an unlikable son of a bitch back then too. But at the same time, it's like these are people who are like, I promise you, like so uninformed about anything in the political process whatsoever that they have no fucking clue what they're talking about. And yet they're influencing people. They're saying, yeah, this is how you need to vote. This is the responsible way to do it. You know what's funny? I was a teaching assistant years ago in a college course, and initially I was encouraging students to go out and vote. I was like, you need to vote. You need to have your voice heard. And then I had the teacher I was working under, one of them, was actually saying he actually had a deal with his student, a speech he did one day, or debate really, because it was a composition class. So we were trying to teach them rhetoric, and he said, quite honestly, I think a lot of you shouldn't be able to vote, or you shouldn't vote. And all the students got all pissed off. They were like, oh, no. And they were getting all worked up. And they were like, why? And then he sat there. And of course, because we were teaching them rhetoric, we were making a rhetorical argument to say, he said, well, first of all, I think many of you are uninformed about any issues. You don't know what's going on. If you're only following like a party line that you're getting fed to from the internet, you are uninformed and you don't know anything about like economic policy, international policy, um, finance, business, crops, roads, whatever the hell. And yeah, you shouldn't be voting because you're going to make a stupid vote. And he actually broke it down so well that none of them had anything they could say about it, because thankfully we were trained in rhetoric, he and I, and they weren't. So we just ran roughshod all over them. It was really fun. Um, and these were all like 18-year-olds in like a composition class. So because I kind of joined in with him on that. And from that point on, because he used to be a bit of an altruist about encouraging people to vote. I'm really like, something. I honestly, at this point, I've reached a point where I think people should be 21. I think they should have raised it back to 21. I think most 18-year-olds have no business voting whatsoever in any election at all, because even the ones that have brains, are often too much influenced by pop culture by party lines, by like the straight vote, that kind of thing. Which is, by the way, I've never been a believer in a straight vote. I don't care how conservative or how liberal you are. If you vote just straight party ticket, you are an idiot. I'm gonna put that in there too. I should have put that in the thing, because there's no way that one party or one group is going to satisfy everything that you might believe in. There's no fucking way. It's just not a thing. And to say that just makes you an ass. I will definitely say I understand that people say I don't want to vote for X party because I just have no respect for them. But here and there, you might find a nugget in the rough, you know, or someone who actually believes what you believe, even if they happen to be from a different party. But yeah, it's also funny because the major minority, right, or sorry, the majority of people uh, are actually kind of mid in real life. I mean, it's just a reality. That's something a lot of people don't think about. It's like you have all this cancel culture, and then you have the on the flip side the ultra far right culture. That's a those are very relatively small minorities of people who are extremely vocal and trying to influence everybody else's shit. So it's like, yeah, don't listen to them either. They're all fucking retarded. I mean, it's amazing to me. On the one, it's like if you think that the far left is bad when you hear the AOC type people, and they're all idiots. Then when you listen to some of the far right, though, it's like, God, I didn't think it could be worse, but it actually is. It's really extraordinary to me. So yeah, I will tell you this though. I had a long debate with someone today, a friend, about what the election is coming up, and I've seen predictions from a few people that I consider somewhat valid. I will put this out: Trump will never win. It won't happen, barring two or three particular incidents. But I tend to agree with people like Peter Zeihan. A lot of people don't like him, but I think sometimes he's valid. Um, I think as long as Biden doesn't die, and there's a bit important piece of rhetoric here. I didn't say I hope he stays healthy or he stays well or lives. I said as long as he don't die by the election, he probably is going to win it. So, and if anyone wants to know why, I'd love to go into detail about why. I can tell you why. Hell, at this point, first of all, we don't even know. There's probably a lot of people. There are a lot of people who won't even attach their. They won't hitch their horse to Trump's bandwagon because they honestly don't know if he's going to be around in like a couple of weeks or a couple of months. Like sooner or later, the ultra left that's so terrified of him will probably find a way to make some kind of bullshit stick to him, and therefore make him ineligible to run because that's what they're going for. Okay, they're just terrified of this man getting into office again. Not without reason. He's a bit unpredictable and weird. But honestly, he really didn't get much done in his first presidency because he delegated by tweet. I mean, the man didn't. He just didn't really get anything done. Okay. Anyway, funny thing is that, and this is something I don't think most of the liberals will accept, is that most of Biden's foreign policy right now is taken right out of Trump's playbook. Although you could argue that he took his playbook off of some of those people from back when Biden was vice president. So it's really a weird hodgepodge right now. Like Trump isn't nearly as far right as some people think he is in some respects. In other cases, Biden isn't nearly as far left as people think he is. And yet everyone drinks the fucking Kool-Aid. What's wrong with people? That makes me mental. That makes me absolutely mental. And I'm speaking sense here, people. I know what I'm talking about. I've done intensive research on this kind of shit. Let's get some medieval music. Let's get Celtic and medieval. So anyway, that's why I'm putting it out there. Stop listening to celebrities. I'm not a celebrity. I'm just. Oh wait, where's my? Oh, up. There we go. Ah, we don't want this to be too loud. Let's make sure this is kind of quiet. I don't know. Just a very subtle background music. Okay, good. We walled this all in. I want to go with a different lighting down here. Like I don't want it to be the bone lighting. Then again, I may do that anyway, cause fuck it. Might keep the theme, perhaps. Yeah. Anyway, we're not going to dwell on this part right here. We're going to move on. Let's see what else is going on here. Oh, I didn't get a chance to play until well into the evening because I was doing lots of other shit today. But I did actually give myself armor. Look at this. I got like hardcore set of samurai, and it's like fully buffed as well as you can buff it, basically. And that includes all the tools. Look at this, like all this fiery pickaxe. It's got efficiency, fortune, mending, and unbreaking, and it's got auto smelting on it. That's so ballsy. I love it. It's balls. Okay, so anyway, we got our place kind of built. We got it set up well. What I need to do now, unfortunately, is I need to do all the pylons down here. Either that or, well, maybe we're just going to make some more islands out here somewhere so we can link them all together. I think I should make another island out here somewhere. How deep is this? Looks way deeper than this here. Trying to decide what I'm going to do there. No, we're not going to build one out there. Not yet. I feel like I want those artificial islands to be even bigger than they are. But yeah. Oh. It's so amazingly stupid. Well, anyway, here's the fun thing. I did this last night because I was up really late again. I wasn't on stream, but I managed to not only break down like all the current stone and wood and everything else I had, and there's like enchanting over in the distance, and this is for like all the animals and things we capture. So we've got a fully. Oh God, why is it? It feels like it's doing head bobbing on me, and I got head bobbing off. The fuck. Anyway, this looks pretty good. Kind of happy with this. So anyway, yeah, but it's like I can't wait. Like when we get into probably like the late spring next year, all of social media is going to start exploding for either the left or the right. It's going to get completely out of control. It's going to be obnoxiously bad. Oh, here we go. We can actually use aluminum black box. Oh, yes. Let's do this. We need to have lighting. That is not. Wait, do we have any of the little bone lights? Oh, I don't have any of that left. Oh no, I got it's the fantasy furniture. Wait a minute. Fantasy. Oh, there we go. Chandeliers, maybe. Yeah, okay. Boop, 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 boop. There we go. Okay. We're gonna put some lights down here. Let's do that. What's a good way to arrange this? Damn. I don't want to have double lights. You know something? Let's just do this. Boom, boom. Let's put them. Yeah. Oh God, no chandeliers. Shit. I so did not mean to do that. That's just okay. I don't have the wall lights then. Shite. I thought I had some. Do we use them all up? Yeah, we did. Okay. Fantasy furniture. Wither floor light. Wither wall light. There we go. Let's go. There we go. There it is. Way better. Nice. I feel like I should put something in the floor, but I don't really know how I want to do that. Let's just do that. There we go. Boom, boom. Nicely done. Take a lot of this mess out of here. All right. So tomorrow's going to be a busy day. Man, I got about a billion things lined up to do tomorrow. It's going to be crazy busy. There we go. Here we go. But yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see what happens. There's going to be all these people getting whipped up into rabid frenzies over left or right or whatever, and most of it coming from sources that are not reliable or just plain stupid. But I'll tell you what the problems are. Let's break down the likelihood of each candidate, right? Um, this is something that it fascinates me because I've evaluated this extensively, and both candidates are highly unviable. What right now is assumed to be both candidates, like Biden and Trump, are both like extraordinarily unviable. So it's honestly, in terms of spoiled for choice, it's one of the worst presidential elections in all of American history. So think about what we have here. I was talking with a friend of mine who tends to lean a bit to the left, a bit more than I would like, and we were talking about the differences between Trump and Biden and like issues with elections and whatever. And his thing was just like, well, Trump is a demagogue. And I just looked right at him because we were on a video chat, and I was like, "So's Biden. What the fuck are you talking about?" And he like had to basically concede the point, even though he didn't have that in his head. And I was like, "Dude, what's wrong with you, man? Like, what are you drinking, bro?" So you basically have two men who are both demagogues at this point because they're both pandering like crazy to certain groups. Trump is has never been like ultra likable. He just like likes to stir a lot of shit up, and of course he's going to do that with his ultra right people. And but he's the problem is he's lost a lot of the middle because I'll give you an example. See, I'm going to go after him first, so that when I go after Biden, I can show that I'm being basically like, I'm trying to be like, haha, fair and balanced. No, I'm not Fox fucking News, nor am I goddamn HuffPost. So, but if you think about it, like one of Trump's big things was, and I always use this as a joke to show the hypocrisy of like his platform. The man had back in 2016, he had MAGA hats, like "Make America Great Again," and they were made in Vietnam, dude. So it's like, well, there's that out the window. There was some hat company in America that employs Americans, or at least American peoples living in America. They don't even have to be Americans. I mean, someone with a green card, I don't give a fuck. Could be an immigrant. We don't give a shit. But yeah, they didn't get the job. They didn't get the commission. They didn't get the help to their business. So yeah, the disingenuousness of "Make America Great Again" when the hats themselves were made in another country is absolutely absurd. People overlook that. It's a very minor thing. People will say. Well, to them, I will say no, because it's indicative of the all of the bullshit hypocrisy of all the fucking horseshit rhetoric. So you know, there's that. See, do we want to do wall lights going down, or do we just want to say fuck it? And I kind of want to do like lights in the floor, but I either have to do a double column. Damn, I wish this was oddly numbered. Anyway, so I think that's indicative of a lot of the things, with the on both sides the hypocrisy. But the MAGA hats was a very good example. I mean, I wish people would take time to let it sink in how unbelievably ridiculous it is for someone to be putting on a hat that says "Make America Great," i.e., bringing jobs here and infrastructure and all that, while having the hats made in another country. I mean, think about that. That's the ultimate slap in the face to anyone who's paying attention. On the other hand, we have an old white man who called himself in 2016 the next black president, which is by itself, if I were a black individual in America, that alone would have made me not vote for him. I mean, I not have voted for Trump either, but I would just been like, I'm just not going to fucking vote. I would never vote for a man who like came up to me like, yeah, guess what? I'm your next black president. If I was black, I'd be so fucking offended by that. No one said boo to that shit, except for a handful of like ultra conservatives. It's like, again, the hypocrisy of both these people is extraordinary. The amount of pandering that they do. I mean, dude, you had a white man turn around and say, I'm the next black president. And he didn't say it as a joke. He said it with like a straight fucking face. It was like he was on like a YouTube, he was like on a podcast or some kind of shit when he did that. I was like, because it was in the summer. It was in like early summer 2016. No, 2016, sorry, 2020. That's like extraordinarily retarded. So anyway, both of the men are complete liars and hypocrites. But like I said, Trump's not nearly as conservative in some respects in terms of like policy as people think he is, and Biden is not nearly as liberal as a lot of people think he is. At his core, he's a Republican, albeit a moderate Republican. Just like Trump for a long time courted all the Democrats and was kind of firmly in the Democrats' pocket. I mean, there's a reason why he used to like hang out with the Clintons all the time, shit like that. Of course, we could dig into the fact that Hillary Clinton is actually kind of like a closet moderate Republican too. But this is one of those things that people on the left will never want to hear. Um, so anyway, yeah, they basically we're looking at two candidates who are basically for most of their lives have kind of been a little bit more on the just slightly, even some cases, on the opposite side of the party that they're claiming to represent right now, which is absolutely insane to me that no one's like sitting and talking about this. If you go and look at their histories, look at their speeches, look at who they hang out with, look at what they've done. This is irrefutable. I'm not making this up. It's true. And people just can't accept it on either side. They can't accept it. They're just like, no, 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 no. And it's like, fucking morons, stop drinking the Kool-Aid. You're idiots. Again, if you listen to celebrities, you're stupid. Um, yeah. And by the way, this is not the first time that this has been a problem. Okay, I don't hold anything personally against Dwight Eisenhower, i.e., President of the United States, 1952, 1960. But one of the criticisms of him back in the day was he was a well-read man, but he was a professional career soldier. He was used to issuing orders and having and following orders, but also issuing orders and having them followed out. Well, that's not how the executive office works. You can't just say, "You go do this," and they go, "Yes, sir," and they salute and they go off and do it. That's how Trump ran his entire presidency, and very little got done. So it's amazing. The history repeats itself many times. It's quite fun. On the other hand, you got Biden, who, I mean, let's be clear, the man is deteriorating, not just mentally, physically. Does anyone believe that he's going to survive 4 more years? I don't. I think you would be hard pressed if you got people to answer honestly. Will this man survive another 4 years? And well, he has another year to go, so it'd be another 5 years. It has nothing to do with age. Okay, there are people who are 85 or 90 who are as spry, and their mind is as sharp, and even physically, they're in good shape as they were when they were 40. Okay, but that man is literally falling apart. There is so much evidence of it, and it's not just mental; it's physical too. It's sad. So the thing then is that okay, who becomes president? Well, arguably his vice president Kamala Harris. I honestly think if it was any different election year, he would try not to utilize her. He would broom her because she has basically proved herself to be fundamentally unlikable to not only the right but also to the left to a great degree. This is another lady who leans a little bit conservative with certain issues, and no one is saying boo about that. But she just is like, even when she's trying to be like all friendly and whatever, it just seems so disingenuous. Like nobody likes her. Even most of the liberals don't like her. But she fits a lot of like really good left demographics, and at this point, he couldn't change up, change up his running mate. Franklin Delano Roosevelt back in the day changed up his running mate a couple of times. Truman was not vice president for what was it, 13 years? No, he wasn't, or 12 and a half. He was vice president for less than half a year, and he became president. There were other vice presidents, plural, before that. Of course, that's when you could run for 4 terms and get elected. I'm giving people a actual, real life American politics lesson here, and I can reference tons of political precedents and so on. So anyway, that's how that works. Um, but yeah, Biden's not going to be able to hold together. So arguably, Kamala Harris will be probably the next president of the United States. There will be people who will vote for that because they're like, yeah, well, it's about time we had a woman president. But here's the problem I have with that. Does it really matter if there's a woman president? Does it matter if they're Indian, African American, Latino, whatever? What matters is their actions and their policies, not what race they are, what religion they are. I couldn't give a shit. I don't care if someone's Catholic. I don't care if you're Muslim. I don't give a fuck. What I care about is what are you going to do for the American people? What are you going to do for jobs? What are you going to do for the economy? What are you going to do for various things? Okay? That's what I care about. And neither side has a whole hell of a lot they're bringing to the table, which is kind of sad. Um, because the whole Green Deal is going to basically, all he's doing is the children of the Gen Z people are going to be footing that bill for the next, like, in 20 years and 40 years and 50 years from now. This is going to be a train wreck of epic proportions. We'll end up with $42 trillion in debt, and no one's going to have any way to pay it off. So then again, things like all, Iraq war and all that horse shit. That was another, 10 plus trillion or whatever. Bailouts, this, that, and the other. It's all broken as hell. I would like to actually see the two-party system go away. I think really, if people were forced to make coalitions more, we might see more get done. Then again, we more than likely we could just get bogged down in more bureaucratic red tape and bullshit. So it might make it worse, not better. That's the most likely scenario out of that bullshit. That'd be fucking hilarious. Oh my god, I just make myself laugh sometimes. I'm like trying to be optimistic, and I'm like, oh no, Grumble, you're an idiot. Oh my god, no, but I think it would be good to have, because if we did go into a multi-party system, we would have at least 4 or 5 different parties that all would hold enough votes to where they couldn't be easily marginalized and would have to be taken into the process. So that'd be very interesting. All right, good. We got rid of those ugly torches and we filled everything in real beautifully, and it looks fantastic. Now, this is just a rough draft right here. Anyway, so let's get back into Trump and Biden. We talked about the fact that they're both disingenuous. They both lie. Trump's biggest problem is this: he's going to have trouble with the middle. And arguably, for as voluble as the far right and the far left are, they are fringe. They are the smaller portion of the population. Now, as a lot of the middle, especially young people, are stupid enough to be influenced by all the tweets and every other fucking thing. Yes, they are. But the actual people who go out and vote um, is is very much smaller than what you think you see on social media. So what we're talking about is, Trump's going to have his far right people. He's got certain states he'll probably carry just from the conservatism, but he's going to lose so many people in the middle. So he has a certain amount of states and groups that he'll carry, but that's not going to get, at best, that gets him a third of the electoral votes. You have someone like Biden. Um, he has a similar problem. A lot of people are going to worry about succession issues. Trump might see a spike in some like right-leaning middle people who will say, I don't want a woman, or especially a woman of color, to be president. That's very possible. And honestly, that might bump his numbers a bit. But on the other hand, you're going to have a lot of people on the left who will say, well, it's about time we had a woman. Sorry, I had to clean up some fuzz on my mic. And not just a woman of color. So it might even itself out. But neither side's really well equipped to take the middle. Because you see, Trump got a lot of people in the middle. For instance, when he was running back in 2016, he promised to bring back a lot of coal. Okay. Now, where that matters is places like West Virginia, but more importantly, southern and eastern Ohio, western Pennsylvania, things like that. There's a big coal districts. There's a lot of votes there. There's unions there, and there's a lot of industry there, coal industry. He didn't deliver on almost anything there. So he's not. A lot of those people just kind of left him. They're like, there's disillusion. They're like, I thought this guy was actually going to do something for us, and he didn't do anything. And in some cases, he almost comes in more on the side of the business than the individuals, which doesn't do anybody a lick of fucking good. So yeah, I think people got very disillusioned with this man, and that's going to be his problem. He's not going to bring those people back in the fold, no matter how much rhetoric he spews. On the other hand, he's going to go crazy about the, Joe's basically a train wreck of, he's hardly even alive. He's going to get people worked up over that. I'm telling you my prediction for what's going to be said. I'm not saying I agree with these things. But I honestly, I just don't see how Biden's going to function for 5 more years. But then again, Kamala Harris will come in. But here's the kicker: why have the Republicans had such trouble finding a speaker for the House? I'll tell you why. Because in case they keep a majority next year, that person's going to be probably the next vice president. If Biden goes out, and then you have Harris, who will be a Democrat, being president, and you'll have a vice president who'll be a Republican, which I can't think when that has happened in American politics. I don't know that might be unprecedented. I'd have to think back real hard, but that's a very distinct realism. So this will be kind of interesting. On the other hand, one of the big problems with Trump is, and a lot of people pointed this out. First of all, he might get convicted of something like a felony or some shit by all, because they're constantly have him in jail, or trying to indict him on something. The left is just desperate to keep him out of the race. If they can get something to stick on him, he will become ineligible to run for the presidency. And even if he can overturn that on appeal, well, the appeal won't come till after the election, which means it means absolutely nothing. And he probably won't run again, because by the time he'd be running again in 4 years, he would also be well into his 80s. So this is what you have to deal with. The real kicker right now is, again, some of the so-called promising people, say in the Republican Party, they're not going to. A lot of them, they have political careers to consider. If they hitch their horse to what is basically, or sorry, hitch their wagon to a dead horse, well, it's not going to help them politically. I think some of the best and brightest on what you could call that on the right are going to stay away from Trump desperately until it looks like he might really be able to run. But on the flip side, if he gets eliminated by some technicality, like he's not eligible to run, whatever, um, he's so busy. Like anybody he perceives to be a challenge to his candidacy, like DeSantis from Florida, a few other people, he attacks them so viciously. He goes after them with everything he's got, that you're not going to have a really viable candidate come out um, if Trump can't run. But he's determined that it's going to be him. But here's his problem: who's he going to get as a vice president? He's not going to run with Mike Pence. Mike Pence has basically thrown Trump under the bus. He was doing that in 2016. He actually was hurting Trump's situation. He was a douchebag. Because what a disloyal fuck, right? I mean, loyalty alone, he should have backed the guy up. But he decided to jump on certain political bandwagons, whatever. So yeah, Pence is not going to come back. That's not going to happen at all, ever. Period. In story. So who's Trump going to get? Who's he going to get as vice president? See, this is not a problem on Biden's side. Like I said, if it was a different election cycle, the Democrats might actually say, get rid of Harris and get some other presidential candidate in order to maybe like get a certain demographic or whatever, maybe a Latino woman, something like that, from the South. There's a lot they could do in that respect, but they can't lose her right now, and so they're gonna have to accept the fact that more than likely she's going to become president. And like I said, she has this kind of like unlikableness about her. Even a lot of Democrats don't like her. So we already know what's going to happen. Biden gets elected. The trick is going to be like, who's going to be the Speaker of the House, and are they going to get elected? Now, for all we know, the Republicans lose a majority in next year in the House, and then someone like Pelosi comes back, and then that bitch will be vice president. Because I'm sorry, even Democrats should vilify her. They should hate her. She is pure evil. I mean, she is pure evil. She treats Democrats just as much like shit like she does Republicans. I mean, that woman is just Satan. That's not political. That's just a person. I'm talking about just as a human being. That woman is evil. But anyway, my opinion. But yeah, who's Trump going to get as a running mate? I think there will be some what you could call political hopefuls on the right that will purposely decline to run with him because they don't see the benefit in it. And honestly, I don't think he can win the election. If you happen to be someone who listens to this for whatever reason on the right, you have to understand whatever convictions you have that are very conservative. There are a lot of people in the country that don't share that view, and there are a lot of people in the middle that are some things they lean left, some things they lean right. You know, I'm a bit that I'm well, I'm not a bit that way. I'm very much that way. There's some I believe in a comprehensive social health care program. I think that is a thing that needs to happen. Other countries look at us and laugh at us because they're like, you can't even take care of your own fucking people. And trust me, whatever we have in place right now is garbage. I mean, it's got a few provisions in it. I'm glad they passed it for those provisions, i.e., health. Your insurance can't deny you coverage. Pre-existing, blah blah blah. On the other hand, there are other things where I lean right in terms of like fiscal conservatism and things like that. This left wing mentality of money just grows on trees, and they keep passing these $1 trillion packages that really aren't going to do a whole hell of a lot except waste a lot of money, is offensive as hell to me. I'm just putting that out there so people understand that I am very left and right on different things. I consider myself the ultimate centrist, and I can look dispassionately at all these people, Trump and Biden, without bias. And if I have personal bias, I'll say it's personal bias. But I also look at how people are perceived and dealt with. Like I said, when you talk Harris, I mean, there's polls are very spurious, but there's no poll that will give her a good rating. I mean, even among Democrats, she's just not liked by anybody. Um, those numbers will change all of a sudden magically when it looks like she's going to become president. I guarantee you that. But yeah, Trump's biggest problem is who's he going to get as a running mate? There were people thinking like, oh, it's going to be DeSantis. Well, here's the thing: Trump probably can get Florida anyway. And if you go back and look in history at almost every election, the people in most cases are from polar differently portions of America. You have someone from the East Coast, someone from the West Coast, someone from the North, someone from the South. You have couplings that fill in demographic gaps. Okay, Biden is a career politician, East Coast. Well, what did he get? He's a white man. He got a woman of color who's a politician from the West Coast. Carrying New York and California is a really big deal. That already gives you a very sizable portion of the election. But then you have problems like Texas and Michigan and Florida and other places. Big voter states, big states. Okay, Pennsylvania is a big one. No offense to those of you in Montana, but yeah, in the end, your electorals can make a difference, but overall, no, not that much compared to carrying shit like Texas, Florida, New York, California. I mean, that's like you carry those four, you pretty much got the election, except for like some weird, rare circumstance. I think Trump will carry a shitload of states, but he'll lose. Because he's going to carry a shitload of states that have a tiny amount of electors, and he's not going to carry certain big states. Not with Florida, though. Why would he pick DeSantis? DeSantis is Florida governor, and he's been so busy vilifying DeSantis that odds are DeSantis wouldn't run with him anyway. Then again, we've seen weird politics make strange bedfellows. This friend I was talking to earlier today, I was talking about the fact that, and everyone choose to forget this. Back in 2008, when Obama was running, and he and Hillary Clinton were fighting for the Democratic nomination in the spring of 2008, she was going after him with everything she had. Even as bad as the Republicans, as bad as people like Trump and McCain, not McCain, but more like Trump and certain other groups who were like Rush Limbaugh, who were saying, show us your birth certificate and all this other horse shit that was going on. Her people were doing that too. And all of a sudden, he started pulling ahead a bit, and that should have been an indication how unlikable she was. 2016, but in 2008, all of a sudden she capitulated. They made good friends. Everyone was lovey-dovey, and then she became Secretary of State, and Obama got elected. And the reason they did that is because if they'd had a rift and they'd split the party, McCain would have gotten elected. And it wasn't a landslide for Obama, by the way. Let's be clear on that. Most of the instances in history where you see someone say a landslide, most, not all, have not been landslides. It's been closer than you might think, you know. So anyway, so Trump's biggest problem is who's he going to get as a running mate? He's got it. He himself, for whatever he has, Florida, the Mar-a-Lago, and all that bullshit. He's basically a New York financier type. He's going to get that to some degree. So, this is why he picked someone like Mike Pence in 2016. Mike Pence didn't have a lot of skeletons in his closet. He was a conservative Christian from Indiana, which is Bible Belt, Corn Belt, Wheat Belt, and that carried a lot of Middle America. It was a very calculated move. This is not a new thing. When Franklin Delano Roosevelt, FDR, wanted to get reelected in 1944, he had hotly contested elections before that. Everyone thinks FDR just rolled in because everyone loved him. No, he was roundly hated by a lot of people. And why did he pick someone like Truman? Because Truman was a Missourian and polar opposites to FDR, just like Lyndon Johnson and Robert, or not Robert Kennedy, John F. Kennedy. You go for where your weaknesses are. So Trump is a East Coast New York person, financier, whatever hell you want to call him, investor, whatever. He needs someone from the West Coast, but the problem with the West Coast is tends to lean very left. Washington, Oregon, California. So arguably he needs to go back to Middle America, i.e., somewhere in the Corn Belt, Wheat Belt, Bible Belt. He's not going to get Pence because Pence basically threw him under the bus. No one, including Trump, wants Pence, and I don't think Pence would run even if Trump turned to him and said, "Let's run." So he's got to pick. He's got to get somebody. Um, he doesn't really need anybody from the South because Trump comes across so conservative that a lot of his MAGA people are people like Texans and Mississippians and Kentuckians and Alabamans and Floridians and all that shit. So he needs to get someone from middle North America, middle North US, Michigan, Wisconsin, Illinois, Iowa, or he needs to get someone from the West. Probably, maybe someone from Oregon or California, potentially. But yeah, I think a lot of people who are, like I said, the so-called up and comers in the Democratic Party are not going to want anything to do with them. It's not worth it to them to potentially commit political suicide by hitching their horse to basically a dead wagon or a broken wagon, because he may, like I said, there's still a distinct possibility Democrats will get something in a court to stick to him, and he becomes a felon, and then he won't be eligible to run. And then what do you have? But see, in the meanwhile, he's trying to do so much damage to anyone he conceives as even like a remote threat to him, that they're going to have trouble running in their own right. So I don't know. We're gonna have to wait a couple months to figure out what the fuck is going on there, because right now it's so up in the air. It's almost impossible to tell how this is going to go. Now, again, for the sake of argument, let's say Trump does avoid any prosecution that would preclude him from being president. More than likely, what's going to happen is, again, his vice presidential choice is going to be the make or break of his presidential run. And anyone who says different, you're full of shit, because that's going to be the person that's going to bring in the people who don't want Trump but want something that's not Biden and Harris. It's going to be actually probably the most important decision that man could make ever, if he really wants to be president. So, because on his own personality, he's going to lose votes, not gain them. He enjoys being such a douchebag, and he's so fundamentally unlikable in many respects. He's just going to lose people on that base alone. And I'm not saying this again. I'm not. I'm not a far left person. I'm not a far right person. I legitimately am looking at this with an objective eye. I'm looking at the overall. Okay. I'm looking at who's going to vote and who's not going to vote. I'm looking at different regions and how they think. Because let's be clear on something, even in a so called hotly contested election, a really big deal, you might have 200 million eligible voters. You know how many are going to turn out? 100 million? 125 million? Like, oh, I don't have an andesite. Okay, here we go. Let's put an andesite. There we go. I didn't have an andesite box. Just realized that. Do we have any? No, we don't have any inks on us. So yeah, his big problem is, who does he get that helps? Like, for instance, if you looked at something like Trump and Pence, it's a personalities thing too. Sometimes you get a person like, for instance, Kamala Harris, I think, was perceived as having like a lot more personality, but a lot of people just feel like it's disingenuous, so she kind of lost that. But other than that, they had Joe Biden play Uncle Joe, which, by the way, he's been a bit of a firebrand in the past in Congress, but that goes back like 30 years. Everyone forgets that now. But yeah, it's personality balances. You look at someone like John Kennedy. He's very polished, very, silver spoon, New England, that sort of thing. Old money, or at least very rich. And you get someone like Lyndon Johnson, who's like a good old boy. It's the difference in personalities. It's like, if one side of that equation for president and vice president doesn't get the vote, the other person might get that vote. So when you talk to someone like Trump, he's like very boisterous, very belligerent, very demagogic. And then you get a guy like Mike Pence, who is quiet, conservative. Like I said, not many skeletons in his closet. You know, he's religious. He appeals to all the Bible Belt people. Corn Belt, Wheat Belt, all that kind of shit. But Trump has to find a new one of those. He has to find someone who's quiet but powerful, or quiet but stern and strong, because it has to be someone that's everything Trump isn't. Okay, he's gonna have a hell of a time finding that. I think there'll be a lot of people who would be really potentially, in the eyes of the Republican Party, strong candidates who will avoid this because they're going to say, I have a future political career 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now. And if I run for this now, it's going to destroy that career, which it can do, by the way. Trump is at this point, if I had a career as a representative in a state and I was looking maybe for governor or senator, national senator or something like that, I would not go and join Trump's political ticket as of a VP, no matter how good it looked, because I would be worried about my future political career. I'm not a politician. I'm saying if I was one. On the other hand, as unlikable in many respects as Kamala Harris comes across as being, I actually don't have that big a problem with her, but I think she's perceived as fundamentally not liked. Give it another year or so, give it another 6 months, they're going to start kissing her ass like nobody's business. And everyone's going to start just like heaping all this wonderful praise on her, and they're going to turn the whole thing around, because not only PR, but a lot of people in the know in both parties are going to be smart enough to realize that she will be the next president. Not directly, not right away. Vice president does not dictate policy almost ever, including her. As it is, Biden, even if they're just propping him up with strings like a puppet, it's not her that's dictating policy. It's people like his cabinet, and his advisors. So, but eventually he will either have to step down or be removed, or he will just die, and she will get president. And then she's going to do some house cleaning. She's going to change some shit up. Might be actually a refreshing change of pace, because I don't think she's nearly as liberal as some of the liberals think she is. So might actually be kind of promising. Also, to be fair, I think we need to shut the fuck up about someone being the next blank president, the next black president, the next Latino president, the next Asian president, the next women president, the next gay president. Who gives a shit? Just if you get a gay president, do you think that they're going to do like everything that's going to benefit gay people no matter what? No, they're not going to do that. Just like a Latino president will not do only things for Latinos, just like a black president won't do only things for African Americans. We need to stop with this media bullshit of, well, we need to have a woman president. It doesn't mean shit. Hillary's probably got a bigger dick than I do. Okay? If she would have been president, she would have been as manly as any man. And it's like that. I'm saying that for the sake of people who do the well, a woman would have a different attitude towards war and whatever. Do you have any idea how stupid that sounds? And it's also misogynistic as fuck. It's so stereotyped. Yeah. Anyway, so the reality is we have a fucked up ass race, because we have neither candidate that is A, roundly liked, B, looks like they could actually carry it off. Both sides are screwed demographically. Okay. I mean, like I said, Trump is going to get certain states come hell or high water, probably just because of the ultra conservative vote. He'll pull over enough people to probably be able to get certain states that lean kind of conservative. He makes the right promises. And again, I think the VP candidate that he picks is going to be a very big factor in that. I honestly think that might be, if he really cares about getting the presidency, that pick for VP in in the next 6 months or so will probably be the most important decision of his life, because I think that will make or break his candidacy. And like I said, I honestly think the Democrats would like to go with something other than Harris, but at this point they couldn't change it up. They just there would be no excuse they could have for getting rid of her. But at the same time, in the back pocket, they can think to themselves, "Oh, oh, I accidentally fucked up my thing." They can think to themselves, "Well, Biden's not going to last very long," and then we have a woman of color who's president now, a woman and of color. So there's a big plus side to that. There's reasons why they won't change up that, because with the perception that overall has had of her in the last 3 years, normally it would be like if you had a really strong Republican candidate for president and vice president that's not Trump, Harris would actually be a liability, I think, not a positive. But that's not the case. Overall, it looks like it's going to be Trump. But I feel like sooner or later, somewhere in the next 6 to 9 months, the Democrats will find some way, some court somewhere will get him nailed on some kind of felony or something, and then all of a sudden he's going to be ineligible to vote or ineligible to run for president. And when that happens, it's going to be like, well, who's going to step up here? And especially if it happens like 6 months from now, or maybe 9 months from now, like well into next year, that person, even if they're like a solid candidate for the right, they might have trouble gaining traction, especially because every time someone emerges that looks like they might give Trump a run for his money in any way for the nomination, he goes out of his way to try to destroy them and disenfranchise them to some degree. So you've basically got like this rabid dog that's sitting out there just barking at everything, and no one's got the balls to tell him just shut the fuck up. I mean, because come on, I mean, someone needs to tell the man shut the fuck up. I remember in the first like couple of years, especially of his presidency, a lot of his staff spent the bulk of their time trying to keep him off the fucking internet to stop getting into feuds with like D-list celebrities. It's like this man is the fucking weirdo. So I like to say that I think Trump could actually pull off the election if he pulled in someone like for vice presidential candidate like Elon Musk. Well, first of all, I'm pretty sure Elon Musk is not eligible. He's South African. I don't know if he ever got American citizenship, but regardless, he would not qualify. But I think they'd pull enough fringe and mid people with a Musk to where I think he needs to find someone like that. There isn't really anyone like that though. That's the problem. Musk is kind of his own thing. So honestly, for my part, I think Trump will make a good showing in certain areas, but I think in the overall, yeah, again, if Biden doesn't die, as long as he stays alive, he's going to get the presidency. Because if you just look at demographics in areas and states that will be carried by him and Harris, he will get the electoral votes more than likely. So, but like I said, there is a motivation for the ultra right to go out and vote hard. But at the same time, there's enough motivation on the ultra left to go out and vote hard, so they might kind of cancel each other out, even for like if they add votes. And like I said, you might get an election hotly contested that has 100 plus million voters, but if there's 100 I'm just throwing out a number, it's like 195 million eligible voters and only 125 vote, where's the 70 million fucking people? That's the really scary part in this country, is where the fuck are all those people who could vote? This is not a new thing, by the way. Obama and McCain in 2008, that was considered such a hot election. It was so intense. First of all, it wasn't a landslide by Obama by any means, and more importantly, there were many tens of millions of voters who just didn't get out and vote. Why? Surely you could have found something in Obama or something in McCain. I mean, if nothing else, go for lesser of two evils. That's kind of what we had with Trump and Hillary. No one wanted her, except for a lot of the ultra left and idiots who just vote straight party ticket kind of shit. That's how he won. I monitor that election very carefully. I monitor that election very carefully. I'll tell you that, yeah, I knew it was all. I knew that all the pollsters were wrong. I stayed up till about 4 in the morning the night of the election, and I sat and watched on various sites that were tracking the thing where they were like 95%. Almost all of them were 95%. Clinton's got the election, 5% Trump. And then as you watched over hours, it was like 25-75, 45-55, and then it flipped around, and it was like, yeah, he got elected. I wasn't surprised. I knew it was going to happen. You want to know why? Because I do my research. I'm a smart guy. I'm going to say that. But anyway, I don't care. I'm telling you, people, I'm giving you gold here. The reality is, the only thing that will save Trump is a very solid vice presidential candidate, and B, What counts against him is, again, he can make a lot of promises, but there are a lot of promises he didn't keep and didn't even try to keep after 2016. And that's where a lot of people were like, maybe he's going to be progressive. Maybe he's going to clean up the swamp. Well, what did he do? He brought in a whole bunch of like Bush 2 people, just like Obama. Everyone said hope and change. And he brought in a whole bunch of like Clinton people. It was like that's the same old shit. There never was any hope and change. There never was any swamp cleaning. So we have the same old thing. Okay, I'm going to pee break. I'll be right back. Anywho, let's get back to it. So let's talk about the other reality, the cult of personality. Like I said, I had a conversation with a friend who leans rather to the left, and we were talking about the 2016 election a little while back, and no, yes, well, Trump is a demagogue. Like I said, I looked him right in the eyes and I said, yes, so's Biden. I mean, they both are running off cult of personality. Okay, extremes in social platform. Um, but here's the problem: that gets you the far left vote. It gets you the far right vote. Again, the bulk of the country's middle. Now, I think what we might see is we're going to see some energize of voters on left and right who might be like not the other guy. But I think they'll cancel each other out to some degree. So it'll be the same old thing. And we'll see the far left go. We'll see the far right go to vote. I wonder if this is going to be an election like we had in 2004. A lot of people who are young won't even remember that, but it was Bush too. And by that time, Iraq War was in full swing. We were having bodies coming home. We were having people saying no blood for oil. Um, Everyone had stopped riding the 9/11 wave by that time, and a lot of people were unhappy with Bush. But he still got reelected. First of all, Kerry wasn't that great a candidate. There were a lot of problems there, but a lot of people at that time stayed home. They just fucking stayed home, and a lot of people will say that's why Bush two arguably got elected. A lot of people just stayed home. A lot of moderates on both sides, the moderate left, moderate right, they just said I don't like either candidate, and they didn't do a not him thing. Whereas with Hillary and Trump, it was with Clinton, it was not her. But I think now this is the reality that the far right is going to have to face with Trump is he is now the Hillary. Trump is the Hillary. I think there are so many people, not only left but some mid, who are going to be not this guy again, not him, anybody but him. We already saw some of that in 2020. What makes you think that's not going to happen again? He has nothing to bring to the table except the same rhetoric he had, you know, 7 years ago. And he didn't deliver on some of that rhetoric, on some of those promises. And so he alienated a very significant chunk of people. Whereas Biden, his big platform was green, green, green. And arguably they're supposedly doing a bunch of that. But the reality is the infrastructure is not there. It can't be built overnight. Not only in terms of production, like manufacturing facilities, but also the minerals, everything. You can't take this country to EV probably before 2050, and even then, a lot of shit will have to change, and insane amounts of money would need to be spent. And we really need to improve the technology. We need to improve the technology. I'm all for green energy, but only if it's used responsibly. I'll give you an example. This business that the Germans are like being absolute fools. They're putting like so much into like say solar. Well, Germany's not a good country for solar, people. It's just not. You can't run somewhere like Berlin on solar energy. It won't happen. Not with the technology is there. So they're going to spend a ton of money doing that shit. Well, they say they will. I think now they're getting they're starting to lean conservative again because people are realizing that the left is going to bankrupt them. But we're had the same problem here. At what point will the spending stop? And people are going to say, well, we really don't want to see like $50 trillion in debt, because we have been getting, I mean, just the last 20 years, we have more than doubled the national deficit. And that can't keep happening. We cannot get to where we're like $100 trillion in debt. It just won't work. It's going to make our economy unviable. So I think there's going to be some backlash there. I mean, that so-called what was that package that they passed last? Was it last year or earlier this year? No, I think it was last year. That Inflation Reduction Act. That was what it was called. I couldn't draw my. That had nothing to do with inflation reduction at all in any respect. So it's like, and the fact is that was a multi-trillion-dollar package. That's absolutely retarded. It didn't need to exist. It really didn't. It didn't really do anything except for give concessions to, green shit that's probably not going to happen, or that's not viable. So you've got two men who haven't really delivered on shit. Although the perception is that Biden is somehow trying to push the green agenda, so he's going to get those left people. But Trump has already made and broken enough promises. See, Biden isn't in that position yet. He kind of has sort of done some stuff, not really anything of substance. But like I said, his foreign policy is basically the same as Trump's, which is basically the same as probably more like Bush too. Obama didn't really have much in the way of foreign policy, so a lot of people don't realize that either. Like, again, Biden leans a little bit more right than people think, and so does Harris, which is amazing. To be fair, though, that's how they're getting some people in the middle, and that's again why, as long as Biden doesn't just literally die before the election, he'll probably get reelected. I hate to break that to Trump people, but I just don't see how Trump is going to get elected. He's going to get a certain chunk of certain states. He will get certain electoral votes. He will get certain regional areas. But I think again, I think if he stays a viable candidate, I think it's going to be his vice presidential selection. That's going to matter. But again, where he could get a really strong person is out of the lower Midwest or South, but he probably will carry some of the southern states. So he doesn't need someone to get him votes there. He needs to carry places like Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, all of which are to some degree manufacturing states, which means he needs to court unions and promise them things like jobs and infrastructure, which he talked a lot like that in 2016, but he didn't really bring a lot to the table in that respect. So, they've kind of like shied off him, and I think it's going to hurt him big time at the polls. Whereas Biden can probably get some of the big union votes, regardless of the fact. I mean, they might just be like, well, we don't like Biden, but we don't want Trump. I honestly believe Trump is the Hillary now. When you reverse the roles, I think there are so many people that are so just not Trump that that's going to hurt him by itself. But again, a really good vice presidential candidate might make the difference. What he needs to do down now is he's always going to have his loud, boisterous rhetoric, and it actually helps him, believe it or not. But he needs to change the tone of the rhetoric. He needs to put something of more substance in there other than blah, 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 blah. Because that's basically what he does most of the time. Occasionally he comes out with something like that sounds like policy. I want to do X with coal. I want to do X with jobs or manufacturing. Um, but anyway, that's how I see it. There's only so much I can go on about that without digging into further references into previous presidents, vice presidents, things like that. There are lots of precedents. Now, we do live in a new age with social media, but don't get it wrong. People used to be just as influenced by word on the street and newspapers and magazines and all that kind of shit. Even the Trump upset in 2016, where everyone was like, what the hell happened? And the polls all said, that happened with Truman and Dewey back in 1948. One of the most famous political pictures in history is Truman holding up I think it's a Chicago Tribune that says Dewey defeats Truman, and he's laughing. It's not even like that was a new thing. History repeats itself, people. Unfortunately, I don't think Trump is bringing enough to the table right now. He's really just spouting the same stuff he did last time. But what is he going to do different from previous? Again, he had a mindset initially like an Eisenhower, which was, I'm going to come in, I'm going to give an order, I'm going to bark out an order. This is how Trump does business. He barks out orders. You go do this. And they're like, yes, sir. And then they wander off and they don't know how to do it and they can't get it accomplished because they don't have the funding or the infrastructure or the votes or whatever, all of the above. And then basically nothing gets done. Not that much got done in the Trump presidency. Not that much got done in Obama other than the healthcare. Really, not a whole hell of a lot of anything. Okay. Most people don't realize that. Just like they don't realize that the president isn't the one who holds the power, it's Congress. So, I mean, imagine Congress wants to pass a bill. Let's say they pass a bill to say, we want more funds into cancer research, which is popular with everybody. And the president comes in, whichever president, and says, I'm going to veto that. Well, 2/3 majority, they override that. And if it's something solid enough, but here's the thing with the modern political landscape, where they stick so hard to party lines. This guy who just got removed from New York, who got removed from the House of Representatives, the Republicans should have voted against him. They should have gotten him out. He's a crook and a scammer and a fraud and a liar and a con man. And it was all pretty much known by the time he was sworn in. It just took a long time to get the wheels moving, all the red tape, to actually expel him from Congress, because that's only like the 5th or 6th time that's ever happened in like the history of the country. And it's not something that should be taken lightly. But the fact is, a lot of Republicans are like, I'm not going to vote for him. I'm not going to vote to expel him. Well, that makes them look bad. Okay. On the other hand, Democrats had a perfect excuse to get rid of a congressman and, cut back the small lead that the Republicans have in Congress. But the Republicans should have stepped forward and said, yeah, we need to get rid of this fucker. And the fact that everything is so partisan now that even when there's an open conning, scheming, thieving, liar, identity thief, misappropriation of funds, stealing money from people, that they still said, well, we're not going to get rid of him. And it's like, what the hell's wrong with you people? I mean, what are you that stupid? You know what the funny thing is? If you get a Democrat, it's the same fucking problem. They'll sit there and back them even if they're crooks. What the hell was the guy? Was his name Mendoza? What was his name? What was the name of the guy who had the gold bars in his house? What was his name? Oh, sitting, and he's a senator, no less. Menendez. Sorry, it was Menendez. Where is he at right now? I don't even think he's resigned. They pleaded not guilty in federal court to charges. And the man's like hoarding like cash and gold and all this shit. I mean, the dude's a fucking crook. Come on. Okay, this is all from September. There's nothing recent. Like he's gonna go to trial, but has he actually resigned? But there's a bunch of Democrats who are either saying nothing or they're just backing him up, and it's like, dude, that's how bad partisan politics are. Basically, short of being a pedophile or committing murder in front of witnesses, and even that, I'm not even sure that gets you expelled from Congress or the Senate. It's so broken. It's broken, people. Utterly and almost irrefutably broken. Or irreparably, I should say. Irreparably. So yeah, this is one of the worst political cycles I have ever seen. You've got a Republican who's a Republican. You got a Democrat who's not really a Democrat. They're both kind of like these bizarro independent versions of whatever the far left and far right want. And those look like they're going to be the candidates, because I can't see a candidate coming forward on the right side that is going to give Biden a run for his money. And it's more importantly, they don't want to take on Trump. See, right now, anyone who comes forward and says, well, I'm going to try for the Republican ticket, what's going to happen? Trump's going to vilify him. And one thing Trump is good at is vetting people. His people are good at vetting people. That's why the Supreme Court nomination went so well. The lady from Louisiana, I'm sorry, I forget her name, because she really didn't have any skeletons in her closet. I mean, the worst the Democrats could come up with was she's trying to expedite the adoption of her kids from like Haiti, which was a disaster zone. I mean, come on, that was like they were so desperately trying to discredit this poor woman, and it turned out she was just like happened to be like doing a decent thing by adopting these kids from basically a demilitarized zone. It was just like a disaster zone. Same goes with Mike Pence. He didn't have that many skeletons in the closet. Any allegations of a little bit of wrongdoing or whatever, most of that got brushed, dismissed, brushed under the rug. He didn't have any big skeletons. So again, he was a good running mate for Trump back in 2016. Trump's people vet. They do vet. And that's a positive and a negative. See, anyone who comes up against Trump, because he is going to have this nomination as far as he's concerned, that son of a bitch is like, I'm going to have this shit. Well, the problem is, anyone who comes up now as a Republican and says, well, I'm going to go for it because I don't think he's eligible, and I also don't think he can appeal to enough people. He's going to go after him with everything he's got. And he's got investigators and all kinds of other shit. And he's going to tear up anything he can on him. He's going to expose anything he can. And then, funnily enough, if it turns out he becomes ineligible to run, this may still happen, by the way. He may not be able to run. He's going to do so much damage to any potential candidates that would come forward right now that they're going to have a snowball's chance in hell of winning against Biden. As for Biden, as long as Trump is on the table, the Democrats are okay with leaving Biden there because he probably will get it. Even as long as he doesn't die. I mean, if they get him elected, I would bet real money that within 6 months or less, he will either be retired due to ill health or put into a home or just might croak. And they're gonna be like, fine, fuck it. Well, now we got Kamala Harris. But again, if her successor as vice president is Speaker of the House, if the Republicans maintain a control over that, that's gonna make for a hell of a weird presidency and vice presidency. But I think she's going to turn out to be more conservative than people think and than the liberals think. And I think they're going to be in for an ugly surprise if she becomes president. So I'm actually kind of like, I'm sorry, I'm sick and tired of Trump, quite frankly. I honestly hope back in the day he was going to be a bit more progressive. And while he did alienate certain things like Wall Street, he also brought in like a bunch of old, like diehard Republican old insiders and shit. So all his cleaning the swamp talk was the horseshit rhetoric. He didn't do a goddamn thing in that respect. So yeah, I'm just tired of him. And I mean, the man is a megalomaniac. He is so full of himself. He really thinks he is like just short of God. I'm sick and tired of hearing about it. But he's going to get his votes from the ultra right, and some from the middle. But I would, if anyone happened to be a Trump supporter, I'd like you to tell me. I don't have anyone in here. I'm just saying this in case anyone wants to clip it and copy it, and you know. But you tell me how he's going to win. You tell me what demographics he's going to appeal to. You tell me how he's going to get the large democratic cities that often carry states. Places like Chicago, New York, LA, San Francisco, that kind of shit. Tell me how he's going to do that. Because with the way he's running with the same old rhetoric he's been using now for almost 10 years, he's not going to get anywhere with that. He's not going to make any headway. That's just how it is. As for Biden, he can just sit there and be like, well, we've done all right. And derp a derp. There's Uncle Joe telling you everything's all right. How you doing? And people are going to eat that shit up with a spoon. And yeah. I mean, if nothing else, you'll get some of the people in the middle saying, I just don't want to disturb the status quo because Trump is going to be very disruptive to everything. So, yeah, we have two terrible candidates right now. I can think of very few times in history, which I have been studying more and more as the years pass. Always had an interest, but I've been really digging in. I can think of few times in all of American history where we've had worse candidates on both sides than what we have right now. I mean, FDR, even when he was dying, basically, and he got reelected in 1944, he still had his mind about him. He still had his agenda. He still had his charm. He still had that thing that made FDR likable and electable. He still pulled that off. Then he got elected, and then he died within 6 months. Biden might have that. We might see a similar situation. I honestly think that's what we're going to see here. I think we're going to see, I think we're going to see Biden squeak by the election, barely, maybe. And I actually think he might get a bit of a majority, quite honestly, at this point. But we're going to see him squeak by, and then he's going to die. And I mean, I'm not saying I want him that to happen. I don't wish that on him. But at the same time, it's just, dude, not only mentally, but physically, the man seems to have deteriorated so poorly. I mean, he really does seem like he's just a walking corpse at this point. It's really bad. You have to take these things into account, man. It's about succession. So let's see how it goes. I think Harris might surprise some people. I will say this: my original assessment was that if Harris gets elected, I actually don't dislike her that much, but I do think there are fundamentally dislikable aspects of her character. Like she tries hard to seem genuine, but almost every time she does that, she comes across as like extraordinarily disingenuous. The closest comparison I could give you to that would be Theresa May in the British side. For anyone who knows Theresa May, there's that kind of vibe, like, like I'm trying to act like I'm friendly and genuine, and instead I'm coming off like a ultra battle axe bitch. It's just a vibe, and people don't respond well to that. So I don't know. This is going to be very interesting. But I originally was going to say that if she got elected, I don't think she would get reelected. Like if she ran on her own steam, I disagree with that policy now, or that assessment. I honestly think if she gets the presidency from Trump, I think she's going to work like hell to make sure she gets an election on her own, and I think she'll win it. What are we looking at? Graveyard? And we need dark iron. Mm. Dark iron bars. There we go. Let's give ourselves like 300 of those. Fuck it. There you go. We're going to bar this off. We need to have a thing here. Hell yeah. Oh, there you go. Okay, we're way far off. Okay. So what are we left with here, people? Now, here's the thing. That's why. Oh, by the way, I want to talk about what's his face that just. What is his name? God, what was that rep's name that just got ousted from Congress? The reason I don't remember his name because I don't care. Is it Lopez? Santos, sorry, it's George Santos. Um, Here's the thing: a lot of people don't understand about that situation. He comes from a area that was redistricted like a couple years ago that leans Republican, so they're going to have to hold some kind of election to fill that seat. Odds are it's going to go to a Republican. So by getting rid of him, and this is where the Republicans should have been more on the the warpath with that, they weren't losing much. They're probably still going to have a Republican seat there. So by them sitting there and waffling on it, going, "Well, I'm not going to vote for him," it makes them just look like partisan assholes. Again, perception is a massive factor. Regardless of actuality, perception is a big issue. One of my biggest axioms is perception creates reality. I do think that holds true. So, perception creates reality. We see many instances of this. Crypto coin became crypto coin. NFTs became NFTs, which is an extension of crypto. They became popular and lucrative for a relatively small number of people because people perceive them as having value when it's actually junk. It's this is the thing that kills me, and no one alludes to this because a lot of the people making content on YouTube, that even when they're tearing it apart, and a lot of analysts, whatever, they're not comparing it to junk bonds. Basically, that's what crypto is. It's like junk bonds. There was a big scandal in the late 80s and early 90s about junk bonds. It's called junk bond scandal. Okay. That was literally the pre-internet or early internet, we would call it pre-internet, paper equivalent of crypto. And no one's saying boo to that. God, history repeats itself constantly and everyone's too stupid to know the difference. So anyway, I'm thinking about making like a podcast or even videos that discuss this. Okay. Like all the things that I just said, I think there would be a lot of people that would watch a video like this, even though it's not a Minecraft. Like I'm doing my Minecraft. Although there's some people who do videos and they have like game running in the background, that kind of thing, but it's usually an afterthought. I'm thinking about making some videos like that and just to hell with it. Because I haven't leaned left or right on this. I really haven't. I've literally been evaluating what the different candidates are bringing to the table and their likelihood of being able to make something happen. And I just don't think either. I mean, honestly, I think that a slight edge goes to Biden. I think he's going to keep it. Just a reality. And I'm not thrilled about either person. I'd like to know what they're bringing to the table. So I think we need to have a stone wall that runs down here, like all the freaking way down. I think that's what we need. I think that's what we need. I think we need to have a stone wall that goes from here, and we're gonna run it all the way down. 113, 161. What are we at? 130 minus 113. Okay, minus 113. Oh goodness, hold on. Nope. Yep. Oh, nope, wrong thing. Yoink. Ah. I think I'm gonna post this video online. I'm gonna put a header that says Trump or Biden. I'm gonna leave it up exactly as it is, and I want to get people's input and see if people like respond to that. So I tell you what, this is Twitch TV, Grumble. I'll say it late, but yeah, it's not that I do that all the time. A lot of times I just play games, but I'm more and more wanting to dive into this arena of where the horse shit is. Just it's just I'm sick and tired of hearing it, and it's on both sides. It's on both sides, like unbelievably bad. So I'm very curious to see where this all ends up. I really am. Um, let's talk about some other things. Yeah, we also doing our thing right here because we love building and we love it. Okay, stone bricks. Okay, there we go. Anyway, let's go ahead. I think we're going to end it there. I'm going to post this up with a different title on YouTube, and I'm curious to get everyone's comments on this. There's going to be tons of left and right and whatever that are all going to go crazy. But the reality is, I think some of my assessments are not that bad. I don't think they're unrealistic. And like I said, I tend to be relatively nonpartisan. I dislike both sides almost equally for the extremes. And I just don't see who's going to come up with what. Like what is Trump going to pull out of his ass? It's be very fascinating to see. Okay, let's go ahead and say there. I'm going to go listen to some things myself. I will see everyone tomorrow. We are on what day are we on? 960? We did 960 days. We've been on every day on Twitch. And we got very little show for it, but it's all right. It is what it is. We're going to go ahead and put this up. It's an hour and 32 minutes. Okay, night, everybody. For anyone who watches this on YouTube, if you listen this long, I'm very curious to get your input and so on. Just leave it in the comments and sub if you like, and then we'll do more stuff like that where we're talking about policy and things like that.